All right, so the following are pieces of evidence that will help your argument of Biden should rejoin the nuke deal and lift the sanctions on Iran. So if your opinion was that we should lift sanctions on Iran and then join the nuke deal and kind of apologize for pulling out previously, this is for you. So document 1, it will not be an easy task, but it must start now if there is any hope of bringing peace and stability to the Middle East. One way to do this is to rejoin the nuke deal and add some new policies around human rights as one of its major pillars, part of the new deal. So basically, hey, we're going to lift sanctions, we're going to come back to the deal, and we're going to use this to make sure Iran actually provides their people with more human rights. Document 2. 3 reports from the International Atomic Energy Agency, they keep track of all nuclear weapons being made anywhere in the world, this week highlight dangerous advances in Iran's nuclear program. Iran is creating nuclear weapons. Iran will continue to create nuclear weapons if it doesn't see economic benefits of the agreement restored. So if America doesn't lift the sanctions, they're going to feel like they need to keep making weapons. Document 3. On Monday, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, person who works for the government, confirmed that the U.S. is prepared to return to the nuclear deal if Tehran, capital of Iran, shows strict compliance with it. They will obey the rules. Speaking at a conference, Blinken said the U.S. is committed to making sure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon and promised to work with allies and partners to lengthen and strengthen the deal struck between Iran, Germany, France, Britain, Russia, China, and the United States. The United States wants to involve more countries in the nuclear deal as well. Then there is document 4. The U.S. and European allies believe Iran has ambitions to develop a nuclear bomb. Tehran, capital of Iran, has denied that allegation. So this would be kind of like an argument like, hey, we're all saying like they're trying to work towards this bomb so hard when, they are saying that's not really the case. So maybe you would be arguing that we should trust them and move forward with lifting the sanctions. Document 5. Since the U.S. pulled out from the deal, Iran has enriched nuclear fuel beyond the limits agreed by the 2015 deal. Iran has gathered supplies to create nuclear weapons, something they said they would not do under the original nuke deal. It has also stopped international inspections of the nuclear sites, so nobody is keeping track of how many nuclear weapons Iran is making. On February 10th, the International Atomic Agency, they keep track of all nuclear weapons being made anywhere in the world, informed its members that Iran has been producing uranium metal, a material vital, which means really important, for nuclear weapons. In other words, because of the acceleration, speeding up, of its nuclear program following Trump's decision to pull out the deal, Iran is closer to having nuclear weapons. Document 6. Multiple U.S. sanctions against Iranian banks have dramatically limited Iran's ability to afford supplies Iranians need. The consequences of U.S. sanctions, whether on purpose or not, are a serious threat to Iranians' right to health and access to essential medicines. The shortages include a lack of, not having enough, critical drugs for epilepsy, a disease where you have a lot of seizures, patients as well has limited chemotherapy medications for Iranians with cancer. Chemotherapy, my bad. Reading can be hard. As a result of many countries no longer trading with and supplying Iran, Iran's access to health medicine and their right to health is being negatively taken away, and may worsen if the situation remains unchanged, threatening the health of millions of Iranians. Document 7. Many times, U.S. officials have said the pain U.S. sanctions are causing for ordinary Iranians is on purpose, part of a strategy to make Iranian citizens demand their government to change behavior. So stop making nukes and listen to the U.S. Military experts have consistently warned against a conflict with Iran, stressing such a war would result in enormous financial cost and significant American and civilian casualties. So these are all of the sources we provide. Once again, we do encourage you to look back into prior lessons and pull extra context and information that we learned before, and that's how you're going to have the strongest summative possible.